Against me! Exclamation mark. We're an American punk band from Naples in Florida. We were formed in 1997 by singer and guitarist who was at the time called Tom Gable. They slowly accrued members until they became a foursome in about the year 2000, and they remained four with a number of changes until 2020 when they disbanded. In May 2012, Tom Gable came out as transgender and now goes by Laura Jane Grace. They have released 7 albums. Hi, my name's Dan, and this is a review of the album Transgender Dysphoria Blues by the band Against Me! Exclamation mark, and which was released in 2014 and was their 6th album and is my first encounter with this band. So this is apparently a concept album about a transgender prostitute. And I believe it was written by Laura Jane Grace before she came out as transgender, but written in hotels where she checked in as female. So it's an album with a message, and the message is that being trans is hard, which is, I think, a message that a lot of people could understand, whether or not you have gender dysphoria. It's punk, but not hardcore. It's basically simple rock with a fair kind of punk bite to it. It's not got the kind of floppiness of playing of some punk that I don't enjoy, but I think there's a lot of punk which isn't like that. It's musically fine, but I wouldn't say it's of particular interest to me musically. It's fine, it's okay, it doesn't particularly disturb me or excite me. And I think this album is almost certainly on this list because of the content rather than because of the music. Feel free to disagree with me if you think this is an incredible album musically. Please let me know that I'm wrong by leaving me a comment. Excuse me. Laura Jane Grace has said that punk is not a particularly liberal subculture, and so is not necessarily an easy place to be transgender, and I understand that. Her singing is okay. She has a masculine voice, so if I hadn't done some reading up, I wouldn't have known that. Other than the fact that the album's called Transgender Dysphoria Blues and the content of the album, I might have thought that she was living as a man. She was living as a woman, obviously. It feels to me more thematic as an album rather than a concept album, but I wouldn't say I've kind of delved into it. I think it would take quite a few listens to actually piece it all together. There's a reasonable amount of stuff going on here. I think, though, it is mildly oblique at times in the lyrics, but mostly it's pretty much on the nose. And there's a lot of bitterness here. There's some rude words and dark imagery, and there's some content that could be anti-religious. Again, I've not dug in deep enough. So it's hard to know if that's in general or if it's railing against particular individuals who are characters in this concept album, I guess. There is a perceived alignment, I think, particularly in the US, between pro-Christian thought and anti-trans thought, and I think that this is something that means that people who are trying to talk about trans issues may at the same time feel like they should put in anti-Christian messaging in it as well. And I think that while there is this alignment, it's not necessarily a done deal. For me, this album, well, okay, so I've already said musically it's okay and it's not special. Content is a bit aggressive for me, and it actually makes me less sympathetic rather than more sympathetic towards this album in particular. I don't think it's changed my overall feelings about transgender. Maybe it works for a punk audience, and I would say it's less about winning people over to a particular point of view and more about expressing frustration, and that I get. Okay, so expression is a good thing, and freedom of speech, First Amendment, and all that sort of stuff. So I feel that it's okay, or I hope it's okay for me not to, I can choose to not particularly like this album. And I hope nobody thinks that that makes me transphobic, because it's not. I don't think it's about the content, it's about how it's been presented. I'm being really defensive here, and I'm sorry about that. Anyway, so I'm not a huge fan of this album. It's okay, but it didn't have a lot that made me feel like, oh yes, I want to listen to this again. Um, so that's what I think. I'd love to know what you think of this album. Um, so please do let me know by leaving me a comment. And that's it from me for now.
I don't ever wanna talk that way again. I don't wanna know people like that anymore. As if there was an obligation, as if I owed you something. Black me